Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Schneid. I think we're on episode 8 of Hot Best Ball Summer, something like that. Eight or nine, eight, I think. Ocho. Little late coming back. I was hoping to do a weekend episode, but tweaked my back playing golf on Sunday. That really put a damper on things. I was trying to really power up a 4 hybrid. Swung too hard, tweaked my back. It is what it is. But took possession of my new house today. Super happy about that. First home buyer. Let's go. Pretty excited. And then we're going to come back and do some drafts. That's what we're doing today, obviously. So appreciate you guys coming in. Hit that like button on your way in. Leave a comment. Let's chat. Let's do all the stuff. But let's jump into some chit chat about I wanted to start it off with contest selection. Because right now, to me, right now is the worst time to draft, in my opinion. I feel like all of the value is not necessarily dried up, but a lot of the value is kind of, disappeared a little bit. ADPs have risen to where they should be. We got a little bit of clarity after OTAs and mandatory minicamp. A little bit of narrative, a little bit of coach speak, things like that. So we've seen ADP shift around a little bit. And again, for me, it's just the absolute worst time to be drafting, underdog best ball, any kind of best ball, any kind of team right now. It's kind of the worst time to be drafting. So for me, that was the reason why I didn't draft any of those schnauzers. Only reason, again, is because I don't like drafting right now. And they feel so friggin' quick. It would have been cool to see and test out the different, time clocks, 10 second, 15 second, 20 second, all that kind of stuff. Some condensed time clocks and get through some drafts quicker. That would have been cool to try, but I really don't even want to be drafting Best Ball Best Ball Mania right now. I'm at 71. I'll do 72 tonight. And then we'll see where we're at for likes and everything, but most likely just 72 tonight. I'd like to see another poodle get going. I would go into that, but I'm really wanting, obviously, I'm sure everybody is wanting training camp to open and we can get some more clarity here a little, in a week or two, a little bit closer to training camp. I'm going to do an episode where I highlight a few, battles, camp battles, RB2, wide receiver 2, 3, slot receiver, things like that. Just guys that I hope I get the confirmation that I need to justify my exposure. And those are kind of the guys I'll bring up and we'll kind of talk through, the Patriots wide receiver room, the Giants running back room. There's all kinds of, situations where we need some clarity and we need the guys to put pads on and see what they're doing, see the direction the team's going, who they're practicing with, if they're running with the ones, running with the twos, whatever, you get the picture. So, yeah, that's why I didn't do any of the schnauzers. It would have been cool to see the condensed time clock and the differences, but I'm at 350 right now since the end of the Super Bowl drafts. So it's not like I haven't got my reps in, that's for damn sure. And again, like I'm trying to save as many best ball manias as I can until after training camp opens. There's going to be 1 or 2 large injuries that really, really, really affect some things. Another thing I plan on doing, maybe you guys will or will not, let me know in the chat if this is something you're thinking about doing, but about July 15th, July, 20th, right around there, between the 15th and the 20th of July, I'm going to hop into a whole bunch, probably like 25 slow Best Ball Mania drafts. And see if I can take advantage of an ADP shift in real time, with a large injury. That's kind of a plan that I have going for, I guess like a week, 2 weeks from now, something like that. I'm going to jump into a bunch of slow Best Ball Manias and see if I can get lucky, with a real time ADP shift with the big running back injury, quarterback injury, something like that. But we'll see. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm a little bit on hold right now. I got my 20 poodles. I have 2 more slows going. I have another, 20 something puppy twos, And that's the other thing with the Schnauzers. They feel so friggin' fast that, I couldn't even comfortably get, 100 or whatever fast drafts of the puppy too. Like I did 77 or 75, something like that, fast drafts of the puppy too. And then the rest are all going to be slows. So it is what it is. It kind of sucks that everything fills so quickly. Of the lower dollar, drafts, I would like to see like a 20, no, like a 15, $12 buy-in tournament, 20 max, something like that. That's kind of what I would like to see, but it is what it is. So that's a little bit about um contest selection. Again, I've said this a bunch of times. My number one focus for this whole best ball season and best ball summer is to get max enter Best Ball Mania 5. I'm halfway there basically, and it's not like I'm not drafting anything else, that's for sure. But either way, we'll see how it goes. But let's jump into a draft. We'll do a Best Ball Mania here. I might jump into some of these other tournaments that they have going, maybe the sprint or something, just because there's less entries. Maybe weekly winners, but that's a lot of people you got to beat, right? Like you got to be super, super unique. So, I think I completely washed last year on my weekly winners. I think I had 10 entries and it was $15 last year, I believe. And I think I did 10 entries and I think I got $150 back. So it was really like just a wash. I guess it could have been a lot worse. Obviously could have been a lot better, but I don't know. We'll see about that. Maybe I'll get in a few at the end of the season, like right before, the season kicks off, just to have a bit of a weekly sweat. We'll see. And then the Eliminator Marathon Sprint. Maybe I'll jump in a couple of those later after I've filled my Best Ball Mania. Max entered that, but we'll see. Either way, there's definitely going to be a couple more poodles coming along, I believe, at least one or two. Just jumped in a draft, waiting on 3, waiting on 4, waiting on 3, 2. It's filled. If you're in the chat, let me know if you're in the draft. Take a look for some names I may or may not know. Slinky, pretty sure drafted with him. DMC, definitely drafted with him. That's pretty much all I recognize. A couple badgeless, which I always say badges don't mean anything, which is very, very true. Badges don't mean shit, but sometimes you see some badgeless guys out here just, clicking random buttons that don't make any sense in the world. And, I guess to be honest, like that's a good thing. To be honest, it is a good thing. It creates variance in any draft room, right? So, we got the 2-hole D Ludomsky. Is that what it is? D Ludomsky in the 2-hole. Love to see it. Thanks for coming out, man. Appreciate it. I think this is the first time I've seen you in the chat, so thanks for coming out. Hopefully we don't snipe each other too much, but appreciate you joining in. Nice. I got the name right. Perfect. Ludomsky. Like it. CD Lamb. That's one guy I need more exposure to, but it's hard to get to 1 or 2 selection, right? So I kind of wish I had CD Lamb kind of ranked ahead of Christian McCaffrey, but every time I'm in the 1, more or less, I've seemed to have been taking Christian McCaffrey. We're going to go Jamar Chase, or do I want to go Justin Jefferson to keep my exposure up or to get my exposure up? Let's go Jamar Chase. I haven't drafted him in a long time. That exposure was early because I think I had him ranked second at one point. I had it CD, I think Jamar Chase, then McCaffrey, then Amon-Ra. That was a while back when I first started, when the contest first opened. So things have moved from there for sure. But that's made me not draft Jamar Chase in a little while because I moved him down since, because you can get him there. Putt Daddy, what's up, man? 35 BBMs complete in 14 slows at the moment. Yeah, I was just saying before that we jumped into the draft here in about 2 weeks, roughly, basically between July 15th and July 20th, right around there. I'm going to probably jump into about 25 total, probably slow Best Ball Mania drafts. And then just, hope and kind of feel like I can maybe catch an edge there with some real-time ADP value if there's a big injury. At the start of training camp's open July 23rd. Maybe some teams are a little bit different, 23, 24, 22, whatever. That's when training camp opens for most teams. So if there's a big injury or we get some clarity, maybe I can take advantage of an ADP shift in real time and get some massive value on whatever player that may or may not be. So that's kind of my plan right now. Get into about 25, but I want to mix it up. I don't know about you guys, but if you join slow after slow after slow after slow, it's all the same people, right? So you end up drafting with the same guys, which I don't particularly, maybe it isn't a problem at all, but I would rather kind of mix up who I'm drafting with and kind of, just change it up, just get some different kind of names and clicks and things like that. So I'll be spacing it out over like a 5-day span where I enter all these BBM slows. Like I said, it's just to try to take advantage of a massive ADP shift kind of in real time. Because let's say like I've been using the Giants backfield as an example a lot because there's really not a lot of clarity there but behind, Devin Singletary. So let's say Devin Singletary gets injured, right? Let's say he rips his ACL, hopefully he doesn't. I'm certainly not, rooting for it or anything like that. That's for damn sure. But things happen. Let's say he rips his ACL. Man, Jalen Waddle is really flying up the draft board right now. He's really been flying up, which is interesting. Makes me want to maybe take more shares now. I do need to up that exposure anyways. Let's give it a shot. Let's say Devin Singletary rips his ACL, right? What the hell are we going to do with the Giants backfield? So if I can somehow take advantage of that in real time, let's say he rips his ACL, my guy Eric Gray gets going with the ones, you never know. Or if it's Tyrone Tracy, then where does that ADP go to, right? At least 120. From like the 180s to 200 plus to 120, something like that, right? So that's my loose plan, is to hopefully take advantage of some massive ADP shifts if there is, an injury early in training camp, which to be honest, there kind of always is. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of who, what position, what team. Is there clarity already? Do we already know the backup? Do we not? Right? Stuff like that. Fantasy Football Garage, GM, what's up, man? Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Hit that like button, guys, if you don't mind. Ripping BBM number 72 tonight. Little deeper than I would prefer, if I'm being honest. I would rather have more bullets at this point, but that's okay. It is what it is. I'd rather not go to Devon Achane. I've got a decent 10% exposure. I'm happy with that right now. I'm happy with my Cooper Kupp exposure, about 15%. Let's go Derrick Henry because a few reasons. He's good. He's on a really good offense. He's massive. He's ridiculously live to be 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns, right? But also later in the season, when more casual drafters come in, he's going to skyrocket to, right around, I would say right around here, like a good half round, I think is where he moves up to about 22, 20 to 24-ish is where you'll be having to take him back end of the second round, at the 2-3 turn, that sort of a thing. And I have less than 10% of Derrick Henry. So I would like to get that up certainly over 10%, especially before you can't get him in the third. That's kind of where I see it going. I don't see it. I don't see us being able to get Derrick Henry in the third in August, barring any kind of injury or anything like that. But so yeah, that's something I'm trying to do there. Josh Allen, he's going to certainly move up too, but I have some decent exposure. Not necessarily in Best Ball Mania. I do need to up my exposure to Josh Allen in Best Ball Mania, but I won't be taking him at 31, not when you can get him at 42 at times. So he's a back end of the, third, fourth for me, back into the third, early fourth, that sort of a thing. Because I think he does move up to this, 30 to 34 range, something like that, maybe even higher. Last year, I believe he was a second round pick, right? So, but last year got a little crazy with the quarterback just drafting. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was a little wild with where QBs were going. I thought it was insane, but it corrected, obviously. So, what do we got? We got Derrick Henry, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle. I'd like to get going on some correlation. Houston's in there. Cleveland's in there. So, I mean, the thing with Houston, it's just such an expensive team to stack. I might try to mix in some, and that's another reason I'd like to see some clarity in Houston. If there's A, an injury, or B, we find out, who the wide receiver 4 is. And if it's Noah Brown, then it's Noah Brown. That's fine and good, but I'm realistically not drafting Noah Brown. I don't even know if I care who the wide receiver 4 is, but I might start just mixing in some Stroud and Schultz, and that's it. And just kind of, I have a lot of that, but typically I have a wide receiver from the Texans, as well, whether it's Diggs, Collins, Dell, obviously. Where are we going here? Could go George Pickens, makes a lot of sense. Makes too much sense to not, realistically. I really need some more Jalen Hurts exposure that I really, really, really need to force that in there. Basically, I feel like anytime I'm taking A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, I kind of feel like I have to take Jalen Hurts from now on because I have a good amount of exposure to A.J. Brown. It's just I typically bring that back with the Dallas side, and then he's my bring back because you can get Dak and Jake Ferguson at the back end of the whatever it is, 9-10 turn or whatever, 83 to 86, something like that. And that's typically what I do there. And then you can get Cooks, you can get Tolbert, whatever, or just have, Ferguson and Dak. But I really need to just force some exposure. And maybe, a naked Jalen Hurts is not the worst thing at the very least, just for advance rate, right? So if you can, push a game 17 stack to whatever, let's say it's Atlanta, Washington, and you have Jaden Daniels. You have Jaden Daniels as your quarterback, or Kirk Cousins for that matter, as your week 17 stack. And then you bring in like a naked Jalen Hurts who falls, 48 now, half round plus ADP value there. And then you just bring him in naked and, he helps you advance. And then you're just hoping for that week 17, game to go off. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to get a little bit different with. I feel like I've drafted a lot of similar teams and I need to diversify a lot, I feel like, from where I'm at. Let's go Hollywood Brown to chase the George Pickens. Or I could go Jaden Reed. Let's go Pacheco. Let's go Isaiah Pacheco. Even though this one was on me, the Chiefs play 3 games in 10 days. That's kind of wild, man. 3 games in 10 days, and they're all in the fantasy football playoffs. So, to be honest, that as soon as someone said that, and I was like, shit, is that real? I looked at the schedule. Oh, yeah, it's real. 15th to the 25th, they play on Christmas Day. This week 17 game against Pittsburgh is on Christmas Day. And that made me push CEH. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is higher in my rankings now because of that. I feel like, they will be pushing for a playoff spot for sure. They should have the division locked up fairly early. That should be pretty comfortable for them. So if Pacheco's even like fringe healthy, could play, but they don't absolutely have to have him in, sort of thing. They could easily just sit him for a week, get healthy for the playoffs, because all they care about, all the Chiefs care about this year is that three-peat. That's why I'm not drafting Kelsey very much at all. I'm really not. We saw him get pulled back last year, and I think it's going to be the same or more so this year. All they care about, all they want is to be healthy in the playoffs and then take it from there. They want that three-peat. That's all the Chiefs care about right now. So they should be fine with all the upgrades at wide receiver. I don't think they're going to need to have Kelsey out there running like, just routes on, 90% of plays or something like that. It's just not, it just doesn't make sense to have him out there in week 3, or even week 9, week 11, right? Depending on their records at, which should be fine. I just think I'm kind of like, I guess I'm kind of tentative with the Chiefs a little bit. And I've been forcing that, the Patrick Mahomes, not the Kelsey side of that game or side of that stack, but I've been forcing Mahomes with, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, and forcing that in there and bringing it back with Pittsburgh a lot. It's just kind of forcing it in there. That and the Rice news. What's the Rice news? Did I miss something? Did something get by me in my old age? What Rice news? What's going on? What happened? What did I miss? I didn't hear no Rice news. Is he not getting suspended? Don't need Pacheco. Don't need Rice anyways there. I would have taken DeAndre Hopkins more. I would have taken more DeAndre Hopkins. It's really hard for me to not click. It's really hard for me to not click Brian Thomas here. He's just my highest ranked in this range of wide receiver. So if that's the case, then I'm going to click him. No, we just need some. Yeah, we need some clarity. We need some clarity with Rashee Rice. To be honest, I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if he doesn't get suspended at all this year. I would not be surprised one bit if he doesn't miss a single game this season, similar to Alvin Kamara. So we'll see. We'll see if we get some clarity, before the start of the season officially. But I wouldn't be shocked if I guess the clarity would be he's playing and there's no suspension. I guess that would be the clarity that we get. So, yeah, we'll see. I'll be going Evan Ingram here, bring up the Jacksonville stack that I have a lot of, but I'm going to keep building it out in these types of situations where I don't have an elite quarterback. I like this stack. I like Jacksonville. I've made it no secret. I like Brian Thomas Jr. I like Evan Ingram. I like everything about the Jacksonville team except for Travis Etienne. Not a big Travis Etienne drafter. But of all the pass catchers and Trevor Lawrence, I'm certainly buying into that aspect of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Especially, like I said, in these types of builds where I don't get, an elite quarterback. I don't get a Josh Allen. I haven't taken much Jalen Hurts, but I need to correct that. Even Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. And I don't know about you guys, but I've seen Anthony Richardson drop in the last 2 Best Ball Mania drafts I've done. I got him at 65 and 67, something like that. So I don't know what's going on with people not wanting to click Anthony Richardson. If anything, I would think he would rise, to be honest with you. Like here he goes ahead of, Patrick Mahomes, goes ahead of Lamar Jackson. Not sure I'd go down that road myself personally. Lutomski, Lutomski. Sorry if I keep getting that wrong, but you got some good value with Patrick Mahomes there. took him naked, was probably trying to get obviously Rashee Rice there maybe, and just falling value. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I mean, if you could figure out, he's got the Philly Dallas stack. I like that. Hopefully, Jake Ferguson makes it to him with Dak. If that happens, man, good on you. And it probably will. I'm not going to snipe you. This guy might. This guy might right here. He might snipe you on Dak, or sorry, on Jake Ferguson. But either way, even if you only get Dak with CD and then you have the double bring back, I like that. I love Terry McLaurin. He's my highest exposed wide receiver. So I like this build, except for Rachaad White. I'm not a Rachaad White guy at all, personally. But yeah, I would have taken Ramondre over him, to be honest. Damn, man, you might get a super late Jake Ferguson and Dak to go with the double bring back on the Philly side. That would be nice. That would be really nice. Do I want to go Joe Burrow here? I don't, because it matches up with let's go Curtis Samuel. Let's go Curtis Samuel. Probably should have taken David Njoku there. And I guess I could on the wraparound here. This guy might snipe you on Jake Ferguson. But man, I did. That's so rude, eh? That's so rude. I was rooting for you. That would have been a really, really, really nice stack. I was kind of paying attention to that and not my pick. So I really didn't feel like I should have taken Curtis Samuel there, but that's all right. I'm okay with that click. So David Njoku, just for the correlation, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And then I'm done at obviously done at tight end. Opens a door for a Cleveland Miami week 17 stack as well, which I don't love, but I'm starting to kind of warm up to it. You may or may not know that the Cleveland Browns don't leave Ohio in the fantasy playoffs. And that's nice. That's a nice thing to sleep in your own bed for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, It's a really nice thing. Man, I really wouldn't mind taking a 100 ADP Joe Burrow here. Ay. I just can't. I'd like to. I probably should have, and then just figured out the Jacksonville side. But if I've already bought into it, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to deviate. And not every, but probably at least say 70% of Jamar Chase teams have Joe Burrow, probably. So that's again something I'm trying. Like I said before, I'm trying to get a little bit different in situations like that, where I can, where it's, get unique with not stacking players with their quarterback. So again, I mean, going back to the Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown talk, like a lot of times Jalen Hurts is going to be stacked with AJ Brown. I get it, but it will be unique for me. I have a fair amount of Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. Any Joe Burrow takes right now is beginning to worry me. I mean, I'm not concerned unless there's something in training camp or in preseason, or Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And that's not me being a Bengals homer. Yes, I'm a massive Bengals fan. Yes, I am a little bit biased, but not with this one. I don't think anyone would realistically argue with me on that he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when healthy. Offensive line's in a good spot. The weapons are very dangerous. I'm very happy with the weapons. There's no reason why he can't be a top 3 quarterback in both real life NFL and in fantasy. So, I mean, we'll see, but I'm not concerned about Joe Burrow one bit. Not one bit. Not one bit. That being said, if he falls to me in this draft at 117, I'll close my eyes, say fuck it, and click his name. I'll figure it out. If I'm getting that much value on Joe Burrow, I will be taking him. But I highly doubt he makes it back to me. There he goes. Just doesn't make sense. To the T. Higgins, yeah, that's excellent value for the T. Higgins drafter. Plus, he's got Cortland Sutton as the bring back. No worries there. Huge value on Dak Prescott too. Very nice. So where are we at? I'm done at tight end. Done at tight end. There goes my Cleveland stack. So that kind of hurts, but that's fine. Not a problem. The only way I'm really doing it is with David Njoku and Jerry Jeudy. I have a little bit of with Elijah Moore and David Njoku, Deshaun Watson, but I'm not trying to build that out any more than I already have it. That's for sure. Just going to go ahead and click Trevor Lawrence because I'd be pretty upset if he went for no good reason. And you see stuff like that all the time, too much. Realistically, I just need to get it by this guy here, but and there's no reason why he should. It looks like he's going, Chicago, Seattle, but I've just seen, especially lately, too much nonsense. This guy does have a red badge, but that doesn't really change my mind on it, to be honest. So there you go. Just going to go ahead and click him, get it out of the way. Could go Tua. I could still go Deshaun Watson, just leave it there with the David Njoku. But we will see. Done at tight end. I do need to click some running backs here. I really don't like falling behind at running back. I really don't like it. I'll take the late round wide receivers over the late round running backs all day, especially with the amount of exposure I have with the late round running backs like Tank Bigsby, guys like that I do like. I really would have liked Tajay Spears there. I don't know why I have 0% Gus Edwards, but I feel like I want to lean into that and just keep going down that road. Seems risky, but it's hard to say. Could go Blake Corum here, but I think I'm going to bring in Chase. No, I'm not going to bring in Chase Brown. I could go Corum. I'd like to get a little more exposure only when he's falling. He is falling here. I'm not taking any Zeke. I don't care if I eat my words on that. Let's go Blake Corum here. No more bye week 6 running backs because I might stop at 5. We'll see. We will see. But I don't think bye week 6 is a huge concern with RB, at RB. I don't think week 6 is a huge bye week concern at running back. 14, 12. Obviously, I think there's 6 teams on buys on those weeks. So of course it's going to affect it, but either way. So we'll see. There's a lot of fallers right now. There's a lot of like random falling players. Like again, Anthony Richardson, I was just saying, Burrow fell way past in this one. Where did he get to? 111. That's insane. That's some amazing value. Dak fell. Yeah, there's a lot of, even Jake Ferguson I've been seeing fall. So I guess that's where the value is. And that's something I'm trying to get unique in the ways that I can. Is sometimes I'll just, close my eyes, say it is what it is, and I'll click that player just because he's falling. And that's going to make it unique. Depending on who it is, obviously. I'm not just blindly clicking names, but that is something that I'm kind of leaning into as we sit right now. trying different things, early July, not a lot of news. Just trying to get unique, trying to do some different things. But we'll see. I'd like to get some clarity, as we all would, I'm sure. Which is why I don't want to draft a ton right now. Right? So, but here we are. Got to do what you got to do. Got to fill the time, Who am I going to take at quarterback here? I think it feels like it's got to be Deshaun Watson. Unless I want to double click Pittsburgh, which I've been doing. Which isn't a bad plan. I think Jahan Dotson's the way to go. Let's go there. Almost done at wide receiver. Think I got to go Deshaun Watson. But I got time. Definitely won't be on this click. Ty Chandler by week 6. Don't want to go there. He's my most exposed player, period. Highest owned running back. And there he goes.